Do you know that reaction of the two girls like pointing and yelling at the cat? Can I just get that from Liv and Allison real quick?
Except the cat is Hobby.
Alrighty, go ahead and let me.
Oh my god!
Holding the other girl back while like I'm almost like you bitch.
Alrighty, welcome everyone. This is just a brief little after show we did after the Earth Day one shot. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Right up until the end, yeah.
Okay, we should give some context. Why is it that we didn't want? Let's explain what's happening here.
Please, because our viewers and fellow players need to know.
I've been playing it with Liv and Allison in a ongoing like one-shot-a-thon with these particular characters since they were like level 5 or 3, I think.
Started at 5.
Pretty early.
Started at 5, and we've been jumping around from levels and whatnot, going up and down in rank since then. And we've been on adventures where their first one together was on canonically their first adventure together, like as a group, because they did stuff before that, and they got to meet up at what we call the Caravan of Chaos. It's basically a Rakshasa who goes around different planes of existence and makes shady deals and has them commit like terrible atrocities to already bad people that he really benefits from. And Hobby was at the end of it. His end game was to get like a luck sword, or I think it was a wish sword.
It was a sword that had like
a wish in it.
A wish, yeah.
And
so, to give context to that, Alwyn had previously toured and gone on an adventure where they fought a beholder, and one of her fellow adventurers did not make it out.
Yeah.
Later in this caravan, she happened to be traveling with the cousin of the character that she'd worked with that died previously. Go ahead, Bradley.
So they ended up in the Shadowfell. They finally got the blade, and at the end of it all, people started like fighting over the blade. At the end, there, like it got real ugly. Real quick. Like,
it was like
the cousin tried to steal it.
Yeah,
like for himself.
Character ugly, like it was player ugly. Like,
yeah, like there was a fight at a table, and people were like, "Can I do this? Can I steal this sword?" Like it got real ugly to the point where like they decided, let's just go back to Hobby and figure out what the next step of the job is. They get there.
Because at that point, we knew we couldn't trust Hobby. That was the other thing. Like we figured out that Hobby was eating people in like Hobby's room. Like we knew we couldn't trust Hobby. So, but we also didn't necessarily trust each other.
Yeah,
like, they had a contract to deliver the sword.
Hobby is the Rakshasa if you're trying to follow along. So eventually they're like, all right, let me have the sword. Deal's a deal. And you guys all signed contracts. So right as Iowyn is giving the sword over to the Rakshasa. Yeah.
Yeah. So Galarian, the cousin, had previously tried to steal the sword.
Yeah.
So I had gotten it back from him, and I go to hand it to Hobby. And before I handed it to him, I used the wish to bring back his cousin.
Also, really quick, just for saying, at this point, this is like me being pissed. We knew that Hobby was bad. Like, we knew that Hobby was bad news. And, like, Nalri's whole argument was, like, you should use the wish to get rid of Hobby forever. And all the other, like, there was a couple of people from the party who were like, no, we can't get rid of Hobby. Like, Hobby's a Rakshasa, blah, 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 blah. What if they can come back? Wording of wishes is always weird. And, like, I had come up with, like, what I thought was the perfect wording to get rid of Hobby. And then Allison just fucking wish that dumb bitch back to life. And I literally, the only time I've ever walked away from the table.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Yeah, go on.
Our contract was only to deliver the sword, not the sword with the wish. In the contract, it didn't even specify that the sword had a wish.
It's true.
So I used the wish, and then I completed the contract and freed us all.
Yeah, and he basically left him in the Shadowfell. He's like, all right, well, that was a dick move. I'm just going to leave you here. Luckily, they were friends with an angel. They were able to get out of there. This sounds like a crazy D&D adventure. It has nothing to do with Earth Day.
But here's the thing. If we had gotten rid of Hobby...
and this relates to the tree.
That Bradley's doing would not be able to happen.
It's
and
my...
I thought I was right. I'm never wrong.
Yeah, but it was a good story though. And it had a
was.
satisfying ending, you know? Like everybody got what they wanted, but nobody got what they wanted. And
Okay,
it was a
JK
nice
Rowling, go
narrative.
off.
Okay.
Yeah, the cousin gets to meet his departed friend, like the departed friend of the party.
It was a good ending.
It worked out well, and then they ended up going north, and they had an adventure there with a group called the End. Like all of this is back stuff, but I prescribe to the idea that everything is everywhere. So everything that happens here is canon in the larger world of Alexia that we may see at some point. All of this to say, did you have fun, boys, with the game?
Yes.
Yes.
Girls are going to be arguing regardless, but boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men.
I've
So-
never played a ranger before, so that was fun.
I'm glad.
Never played a level
Rangers?
anything.
Yeah,
Same.
Even in Pathfinder, our top one's at 12. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was talking with another person on the show who's going to be on here. Sadly, they weren't able to make it, and I'm like, well, who would be good? Who would be able to do level 13? And I texted up Mike from After Hours. I'm like, hey, you're really good at understanding your stuff real quick. Do you want to play a really high level fighter in a one shot? And he's like, sure, I'll let me put something together. And it worked out great. And you like, I feel like
great mood for it too. So
yeah, it was
especially because like fighter is one of those classes. Like fighters, I think is like, if I may be so, I think fighter is like the only class I can think of where you're like, oh, this is easy in the beginning, and then all of a sudden there's like a switch. You know, like clerics are always weird, like warlocks are weird, but then they get easier. Like fighter's the only class that I can really think of where it's like easy, and then all of a sudden like the training wheels get
like a
ripped
switch.
off.
yeah,
Just get ripped off from underneath you. And like that's why despite the fact I really want to play a cavalier, I've never played a fighter. I can't wrap my brain around it. So kudos to you, dude. That's
I will say I did try to make it easy on myself. I'm not,
Yeah.
like,
And
I was
it's-
afraid, like if I get too ambitious, it's
Yeah.
gonna go really bad.
Fighter is a very good, not just entry level D&D player, but it's very versatile, and you can make a lot of your stuff optimized and easy to follow. I have some questions for everyone, and I want to take questions real quick here, just because I don't want to take up everyone's time doing this. But my
I work
first,
from home tomorrow, I don't give a shit.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, okay, maybe we can go forever. I also miss my wife and want to hang out with her because she's just the best.
That's a funny wife.
Absolutely, she is. So
we don't see the gun that's being held to Bradley's head on the off camera.
She doesn't need a gun. She can do it with a look.
That's fair.
Whoa! She did the look. She did it just to like. She did it just to
Hi,
prove it.
Charlotte.
Just to prove a
Hi,
point.
Charlotte.
They're all saying hello.
We love you.
So yeah, she's great. So what I wanted to, the first question that I had here was, what were your favorite parts about this game, roleplay wise, like just anything, favorite things? I'm going to go around in a circuit so we can get everyone to talk. Liv, what were your favorite parts about this game?
Getting called rock bottom, that was very funny. But also like Bradley, you know very much so that like Nalri's not a family person. Like
No.
like Alwyn's the only thing that Nalri has had relatively close to family in 30 years. Yeah, because Nalri's like mid-30s. Which I don't really talk about. She's just so angry all the time. It seems like she's 16 forever. But like Nari doesn't do the family thing. So like having little moments of like her talking to Mama Oates, her talking to Winter was like a lot of fun. Her like adopting Tinnick, even though Tinnick has a full family that cares about him. Like I don't know, like it's nice to kind of like mess around with Nalri especially because I wrote her at the beginning of my D&D experience. So like it's weird. It's like flexing muscles that haven't been used in a while.
Right.
Write something so long ago that you're still trying to make it work.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fun. But you know, I'm a role player at heart. I'm a role player first, a gamer second.
Mike, what about you? What did you like?
Well, for one thing, I think we all had like out of combat. I mean, in combat too, but out of combat, I felt like we really had a good immediate dynamic. I mean, it's probably benefited by, I know Liv and Allison I'm not great with names, but by golly. I know you guys are on the main show, so you guys already know each other.
You killed it though. You got it. Mhm.
Dino.
Okay, I was like, please don't tell me it's Dino. That would be wild, man.
We had a whole
I'll
discussion
respond.
about this before the stream.
That was 3 hours ago. But no, I don't know. Have you been in any of the stuff before?
I've played a one shot with D&D tonight. And I hung out with them at a Requiem one night. That's about it.
Mhm.
You're in
But
for
still.
life now. That's how it works.
Missing Requiem so much.
Yes. I ordered
Shout
their
out to
bento
Requiem.
box. It was great.
Yeah.
Dude,
Shout
I
out
tried
to
to and it was
Requiem.
sold out.
Oh no. They're gonna do it again. Chris said he was gonna do it again.
Yay.
Looking forward to it.
Mhm.
The role play, and then also just personally be able to kind of, but jumping from like a level 2, 3, whatever we are, up to 13, kind of just seeing how D&D as a system scales.
Sure.
Yeah.
And just kind of, again, establishing more of the differences between like Pathfinder and D&D, like asking you how the crit worked, and just a lot of the little stuff. It was very informative, but I felt like the flow was still really good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought you kept to the theme pretty good for Earth Day. I thought that was great. I was very tickled when my dad texted me saying, "I'm watching you play D&D." And then after you gave me that first bit of damage, he texted me, "Ouch."
It's cute.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, no, but I don't know. It was just all in all really solid session through. I'm happy I finally had a chance to meet you guys. Very fun.
Dude, I keep seeing stuff for the Sunday show, and
Yeah.
it's cool to actually play with you.
Agreed.
I'll have to bring my rogue artificer to Eberron sometime.
Eva, yes.
I already have an Eberron character rolled up. Like, I'm ready.
I'm gonna include you guys in after hours. Like, it's the perfect medium just to include everyone. I want to get to the point, narratively speaking, when we hit 5th level, because that's where like D&D really opens up and you get to play with weirder stuff. And I want to get to that level, and then we'll kind of stretch it out and do progression a little bit slower, but do more adventures with different parties. It's like everything is happening at the same time, and Eberron's a great place to do that. Big proponent of everything everywhere. Allison, what was your highlight for this game?
The dryads.
Yeah, built that for you.
No, 100%. That was so cool. Okay, because the thing is,
Get Elwyn a dryad boyfriend.
Honestly, she would. Yes. So when I originally had an idea and a concept for this character, Elwyn was my first D&D character that I ever made, and I made her at level 1. And I really wanted her to be a naiad. I wanted her to be like the water equivalent of a dryad, right?
Right.
Like a river spirit. And that was not a race that the DM I was working with was comfortable with, so it was cool. I was like, half-elf seems cool. Whatever. And half-elf has become a big part of her backstory. So, like, she has a lot of stuff that she's worked out with her dad being a high elf who abandoned her and being raised kind of by her hermit druid master, and he was just like the one who taught her everything she knows, and that's like the closest thing she had to family really growing up. Her mom wasn't really in the picture. She died pretty early on. So being a half elf is just part of who she is now, but I still get really excited, and I feel like because that was the spirit I had for her originally and the intent I had for her originally, she gets very excited about interacting with all these different nature elements, and the dryads and any other sort of Feywild type creature are very like comfortable and close to home and exciting for her.
Awesome. Dino, you are brand new to our streaming games. We played that one in like that I was developing for Alexia. We did like online stuff with like the Alexia experiment, and we've had lots of talks, and you've been a part of like helping set up and whatnot outside the show. But what was it like to, I want to ask you what your favorite part about the game was, but how was it just playing with us? I'm not going to have you say like on stream that, no, this was total crap, but you seem like you enjoyed yourself, which is why I'm feeding the question that way.
I did. Yeah. I'm still relatively new to D&D actually. I only started playing about 6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't doing anything with D&D was 6 months ago, and I started a group, and then I had friends that also played, so I started working with my friend's Twitch studio called Perception Studio, and then I randomly came into Requiem, and I happened to know Noah, and saw you guys playing, and I just kind of glommed onto your stuff.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I'm glad I've been able to play with you guys now twice, and it's Bradley, you're an excellent DM. Like your stories, your world building is fantastic. I am a big fan. And yeah, I think this one especially, I like the Dryad scene that we got to play through. Like the shocking sacrifice that they gave, kind of thing. Like that was a good moment. That was good TV. Like it was. It was a great moment.
Dude, I wanted to go back and cast Awaken so badly.
Still can. Still an opportunity to.
We're in the meadow again.
Well, yeah.
Impress your boyfriend.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing more with you guys, both behind the scenes and on the scenes.
Yeah, and it was an absolute pleasure to see everyone play out. I do want to ask specifically the guys this question. Because Liv and Allison played in a one-shot previous to this where they played out they went and fought two dragons and talked to a druid. They had a whole other thing about that. So narratively, it makes sense to them. Did you feel was it too disconnecting for you to come into a world where things had already happened, or did you think that helped build the world?
I'd say it was a little bumpy, but I think we definitely did a good job kind of prepping for it, I didn't feel like it was an issue per se, but I know it wasn't I could tell that they were, clearly much more in their element and more natural with everything.
Sure. They knew names and whatnot, and that's why
it wasn't jarring. It wasn't like, oh man, I don't even know how to keep up with it. No, it was just play along. I've been in this world.
Yeah,
I'm new to town, but I'm rolling with the punches.
Yeah, there was, and then you guys did a solid reference. There was those moments of talking about people in the town and everything were relatively minimal, and it wasn't like we were missing anything crucial to the story we were currently playing. It was just more side things and references to those that are paying attention and that know what's going on. But yeah, I agree. It really wasn't. And I mean, I'm sure if we had more time to explore the town, we would also find out some of that stuff, more. And I feel like it was pretty easy to pick up on what was happening and what those references were.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'd like to apologize too if it felt that we were too excited about the world as well.
No.
Not like that. It's just for the role playing aspect of it, you guys were just. It wasn't like anything like that. No, it just.
It was just a luxury of preparation because you guys are awesome role players too.
Yeah, you guys stepped in at a very crucial point. I had different players in the roles for this. I had them in mind, and within a matter of days, they both kind of canceled out. So we tried to pick up from where we were at as fast as we could. And with what you guys were given, you did amazing. I loved all of your interactions. I loved playing as Mama Oates with Mike. I loved doing Winter again with Dino. I love Tenek because he's just I knew that was going to be fun. Rachel and oh my gosh, I forgot your sister's name.
Beck,
that's right. I only know her as Bryn now. They're gonna flip if they ever watch this episode.
That's how they prefer it.
Dude, Rachel was watching on Facebook.
Yes, always good.
Also, I always feel a little bit bad whenever Allison and I are playing together because we've been friends for so damn long, and we've been doing stuff together outside, even before we got into D&D for so long, that it's just I don't know. I always feel bad.
I keep grouping you guys together because it's just entertaining to watch you guys play.
Thank you.
I do want to kind of wrap this up with a final question. Where would you like to see, if we did a continuation of the story, where would you like to see it go?
Space.
Done.
I want to kill Hobby.
I want Hobby dead in the ground, and that's when Nalri's fine. Nalri's not even gonna fight against someone. No, she's gonna watch Hobby get buried. That last bit of dirt's gonna get thrown on top of him, and she's gonna lay down and die. That's how Nora goes out.
Dude, he is the reason she trained with that long bow for so long and got the proficiency. Like,
Yeah,
she's been preparing herself for this.
yeah. Fuck him, her, whoever they are. Hobby dead on site.
I want to be Hobby's friend.
Oh, that's very controversial, but very easy to do. Also,
He's very brave, isn't he?
I do like the Feywild though. I'm interested to see
Ooh.
how fighting in the Feywild would work.
holy
Dude.
shit! I've got some stuff planned for you. Trust me.
Yeah. So that's something that would be I'd like to see more of, like stepping out of the yonder and doing a whole adventure in the Feywild.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I hope one day that, like, I hope D&D just releases, like, specifically 5th edition releases more, like, plainer stuff. Like, that's my jam. That's my jam. Adventurers who are like, I'm gonna wake up and go into 10 different planes today because that's just what my 8-hour workday looks like. That's what I'm into.
I mean, they're starting with a good step in Avernus.
True.
Mike, where would you like to see this story go?
Well, I'm definitely curious about like the whole Dryad place. Like that's an interesting take, something that I've never really touched on in anything I've done with art games. I don't know. I feel like I'm worried that too much progression with Lorenz will just lead to a progressively grumpier, I'm too old for this shit kind of guy. But I also think as long as there's not another person who's kind of playing that, it'll work. But I don't know. I don't really have too strong of an opinion on that. I wish I could give you a better answer than that, but
it's okay, man. I think that National Blood Donors Day is the next like one shot that I'll be playing for that. Everyone immediately Googles when that is. And there's definitely going to be something tied to that because we're trying to release like one shots for like holidays. Mm-hmm. And
but like very, very like off-brand holidays. Okay.
Blood donation is so
important. Deal with vampires. So help me God, Bradley.
Everyone thinks I'm gonna do a vampire one shot with the blood donor holidays. Charlotte's looking at me like
it wasn't on camera.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Werewolves. It's gonna be werewolves, and it's a party of vampires.
Y'all are very.
Don't tell us about Monster of the Week. That's spoilers.
Yeah.
No,
y'all
it's
are
vampires versus werewolves, and we're all trying to woo a princess that's human, and that's the theme.
No, we're all literally working for the Red Cross, trying to get blood donors. And that's just the whole adventure is we're traveling around.
Hobby works at the Red Cross and everyone's nervous about it.
It's a party of only clerics. It's a party of only clerics.
The amen.
Yeah.
Or women.
Like, constantly knocking on different doors being like, yes, hello, would you like to? No. And slams the door in the face. Yes, hi, hello, would you like to? No.
Oh, there's so much more you can do with blood, but I will save all that stuff until the next time. I just kind of want to wrap up here. Thank you guys so much for playing. Thank you guys all for watching at home. Thank you, Corporate Streams, for putting us on the internet. Have a great night, everyone.
The pun is Lorax.